Today it's going to be about Aladdin. So, without further ado, here we go. So, Aladdin was actually a fairy tale that was in the 1700s. It was like in a book that was called 1001 Nights, or it was a part of fairy tales of those, like there were 1001 stories, and Aladdin was one of those. So I will put a picture of it here. And I didn't actually I have not read this story. I only know about the movie and the game. So yeah, that's what that is. There's also a theater play that came out in 1804, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then it came as a Disney film, as we all know, in 1992, and it was a musical in 2011. So yeah, I am not quite sure about all of these dates, because like there's different information on the Wikipedia. Some places it also says that the Disney film was released in 1993. So yeah, my guess is as good as yours. But yeah, I really do remember like both the video game and the movie itself. Of course, there's all of this new controversial with the new movie, the new Aladdin movie. So I will dive into that in a little bit. But first, I would like to talk about the original Disney movie, and I really enjoyed everything that it has to offer. I think it's a good story, and I think like there's good characters in it, and of course I really like the genie. I really actually like Jafar in it, and I like Diego in it. I must admit, Aladdin himself and Jasmine was not one of my favorite characters, but actually later on when they put out a series, because like there were also this cartoon series following Aladdin and friends, I actually came to like Aladdin and Jasmine more, because like there's also a separate series where it's focused on Jasmine. I'm sorry I couldn't find any pictures online, but if I can, I'll put a link to it down below, because I really like those episodes. I do remember growing up and watching those episodes after I saw the movie, and of course, so all of the toys and all of that good stuff that there were at those times. I also feel like there's underrated sequel that is where Aladdin find his father and stuff like that. But I won't spoil if you haven't watched it. I think like all of the Aladdin movies are something that's worth watching. I don't know about the new one. I haven't watched that yet, and with all of this controversial, I don't know. Like I myself personally have nothing against Will Smith, and if he's funny, I'm like all open for it. But it also looks a little like they're not thinking too much about how it was supposed to look. But how are you supposed to make a genie look? I don't know. uh, I personally feel like it could be a really good movie. Like if you like the other stuff that Will Smith is doing, I think like this would be fine. But like if you're not into that, just go and watch the original again. And like the sequels is actually also really good. The Return of Jafar is actually one of my favorite Disney sequels, and also the one where he finds his dad and stuff happens. So yeah, I really do enjoy all of the Aladdin content that there is. I didn't know that there were that much. When I found out the original fairy tales was one of the ones from 1001 Nights fairy tale. I'll show a picture of it here. I I were really surprised, because like the only fairy tale I knew about that one was the one about the gypsy telling the stories. But yeah, again, like I don't know a whole lot about the old Aladdin stuff. I actually did play the Sega Genesis game, or for at least for PC. I don't know. I don't remember if we had it for PC or if we had it for the Sega Genesis. But I actually think like we had a trial run on the Sega Genesis, and this was one of the harder games. Like there are so many hard games for the Sega, but this was just one of the ones that was really hard to get through. I don't think like we completed that much levels. Neither me or my brother were good at this game. I do remember we came to a level where it was the genie and it was him like stretching out his tongue and you have to go into his mouth or something weird like that. But I really do remember all of the things with Aladdin, and I really do feel like some of the characters are really good in the series, especially like Jafar and Diego, and of course the genie that was the late Robin Williams. So yeah, I really do feel like there's a possibility of like that being like even more into the future. So yeah, I really do feel like that was a good experience to have when I was younger. Some of it is actually also pretty dark for the movie, the Jafar Returns movie. I think like there's really dark undertones and like there's this almost grown up way to handle things, and I really do like the concept of that, and also the other sequel that was talking about with Aladdin finally finding his father. That was something that was really special and stuff like that. And excuse me for the changing colors, but yeah, I don't have like lights and stuff like that. That is good. So yeah, but I do really liked everything that it has to offer. Something that there was also good about the series was that it also focused on the background characters, or how to call them, like the Kabit and of course Abu and Yago and stuff like that. And I feel like that made it so you could identify more with those characters, because like you haven't seen a lot of them in the movie, and I just feel like they had to have their own stuff, or how to say that. And of course Jasmine had her own stuff as well, so yeah, that was pretty unique. um I don't know how much more there is to say about, like, I do really enjoy the songs also. You can quickly get some of the songs stuck in your head. So yeah, fly on my cover and stuff like that. I'll not go into details here. I'll put a song list down below, so you can go and yeah, see what is something for you. Like I really do think like Disney is making a lot of good music, and that's also why I think like they made it into a musical, or like the story was so good and stuff like that. The tones and the music and everything was just something that was really good for like the animation and stuff like that for the movie. And also I think like the game had some pretty good quality for like the games that there were at that time, because like there were not that many good games like that out there. Even though it was hard, it has like really a lot of special things that you can do, and a lot of enemies and stuff like that, as I said. But being one of the ones that never completed it, I actually don't know what happens in the end, but I think like it's almost like the movie. So I'm guessing you have to defeat Jafar, and then you will fly away on the carpet with Jasmine as Aladdin. So yeah, that's my guesses for that. I do think like it's going to be good with all of these like remake movies that's there. Like I'm a little like both on two sides of the coin, or how to say that. One side, I really want to see all of these remakes, and like I actually are a little bit, then you can go back and then you can see the originals and like compare them and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's just like my childhood that's being like put on to movie quality, or how to say that, in real life movies. So yeah, I wonder when they're going to go make like Saber Riders or SWAT Cats or something in those lines. But yeah, that was actually all. Do remember that inspiration is right around the corner, and do remember to take care of yourself and loved ones. And tomorrow and far from this point on and out, there will maybe not be that many Magic Mirror episodes, because like I'm going into internship, or I'm going into practice as we call it here. So yeah, I really do hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Magic Mirror, and you have a good day. So that was actually all. Yeah, okay, bye.